Good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Melanated Reports AV Club. I'll be your host again for this week, and today we'll be covering episode 6 of The Last of Us. But before we get started, if you can go ahead and do me a small favor and hit that like and subscribe button so that you can be updated for any videos that we come out for The Last of Us or any other topics that we discuss. In this episode, we finally get to see Joel reunite with his brother Tommy and how that affects him and Ellie. We also get to see Joel and Ellie at probably their most vulnerable points that they've been at this entire season. In this episode, we actually have a 3-month time jump, which is something similar to what happens in the game. In the game, the only real notification that we have that time has passed is when the seasons change from spring to summer to fall to winter. I hope I said those all in the right order. If I didn't, don't worry about it. I think the only difference here is that when Sam and Henry both died, it went from spring to fall, or fall to spring, whatever. It went from one season to another season that wasn't the season in the episode. In the game, we don't see wintertime until after Joel falls on a pike instead of what we see in the episode where he actually gets attacked by a raider and gets pierced by what it looks like a baseball bat. So this episode starts off with probably one of my most favorite scenes so far. I know it's terrible English, but it has one of the most lovely couples of the apocalypse that you can ever find. Marlon, the husband, walks in on his wife Florence being held, quote unquote, to gunpoint by Joel and Ellie. I mean, this is the nicest standoff ever. They even ate soup together. Fun fact, the actor that plays Marlon is an actor named Graham Greene, who is known for a role in Dances with Wolves. Joel and Ellie have seemed to get lost and are asking the couple to figure out where they are.
Did you tell him the truth?
Yeah?
Are you telling me the truth?
Yeah?
Couple goals, ladies and gentlemen. Couple goals.
Holy.
Turns out that this couple actually moved to what looks like the countryside way before the infection happened, so they've been cut off for society way before society even fell. They ask them about anything that is something in the apocalypse. They have no idea what it is. I mean, the wife doesn't even know who the Fireflies are.
Are Firefly people?
The couple did warn Joel and Ellie to not go west anymore, and because there is a faction out there who's killing affected and living people. I have my theory for who they are, and we'll save them for later on in this episode. But I think we'll meet them in episode 8 after this next episode, which seems like it's going to be a little backstory for Ellie. Right after Joel hears that his brother could be dead, he goes outside and has a panic attack, which is the health condition that we haven't explored in the game. Ellie goes and grabs 2 of the dead rabbits to eat, which is an Easter egg to the game because eventually Joel teaches Ellie how to hunt, and rabbits are the first thing she begins to hunt.
Should have stolen 2 rabbits.
We can get our own rabbits.
You gonna teach me how?
Joel and Ellie stop to make camp this time. They actually are able to create a fire because they're so far from civilization that no infected are around, or any factions or raiders. He gives her a good old sip of that adult juice to her disgust. Ellie then asks the elephant in the room question of what happens after the Fireflies create the cure from her blood. And not giving away too much again, but for my fans who have played the game, we know that it's not that simple, of course, to make this cure from Ellie. And from the trailers, we see that it's not going to be that easy at all. Joel tells Ellie that he would like to run a sheep farm after everything is said and done, which is an Easter egg from the game, as he actually has a sheep farm in the settlement with Tommy in the second game.
I was thinking I would have wanted to be an astronaut.
That a fact.
Yeah. Can you imagine being up there all by yourself? Would have been cool. I'm just saying.
Ellie talks about how she wants to be an astronaut, and she also confesses to Joel that she tried to save Sam by attempting to treat him with her blood. Joel tells Ellie that he'll take the shift of watching over her while she sleeps, but unfortunately falls asleep while watching over them, and then Ellie is the one who has to take watch. Joel is now becoming more and more vulnerable due to his deafness, and Ellie is now gaining more skills because she's going to have to eventually take over for taking care of Joel. But we also see that Ellie is looking at him more and more as a parent or a protector. Joel is also learning to respect Ellie and treat her more as family rather than cargo. We get some dialogue from Ellie that's straight out of the game.
Are you all right?
I'm trying to learn how to whistle.
I'm learning how to whistle.
You don't know how to whistle?
Does it sound like I know how to whistle?
You don't know how to whistle.
Well, does it sound like I know how to whistle?
Seriously though, how the fuck do you do that?
Talent.
Whatever.
I'm whistling.
Oh, good. Something else you can drive me crazy with.
They come across two rivers and identify the wrong one as the River of Death, which is the one that they know not to pass. And then they come across what they believe are raiders and are taken to a camp. Since they're a commune away from Fedra, they don't have the scanners that they have, so they use dogs in order to detect cordyceps and outsiders. While the dog is checking Ellie, Joel actually has another panic attack because he knows there's nothing he can do to protect her. Dog fortunately does not smell the cordyceps, probably because it's not an active virus in her, and they are taken over to the commune. It's here we get to meet Maria for the first time, who's Joel's wife from the game as well. She's played by actress Rutina Wesley, who you may know if you've watched True Blood in the past, another HBO series. Since the commune is not really prone to outsiders, I believe the only reason they really got taken back is because he said his name was Joel, and she did recognize that was her husband's brother. Side note, looks like Joel and Tommy both love them some black women, just saying. The commune that we see is straight out of the game, but from The Last of Us 2 as opposed to The Last of Us 1. They left an Easter egg for the Twisted Bison, which is straight out of the game as well. Key thing that shows that this commune is probably one of the safer communes is that they have two vulnerable populations that are actually alive here, and that's older disabled people and young people. I mean, in every other camp we've seen that kids are pretty much killed as soon as they are either found or they're just killed for some rhyme or reason. Joel finally gets to meet up with his brother as they go on a trip around the commune. Media is somewhat different than it goes on in the game.
We're brothers, we're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
Whoops, wrong brothers there.
Don't even think about reaching for your weapon. Tell the girl to drop hers now.
Ellie, do as the lady says.
Hey,
Please tell me you're lost.
We didn't know the place was occupied. We're just trying to make our way through.
Through to where?
They're all right.
But you know these people?
Know him. He's my goddamn brother.
Tommy.
Holy shit.
Ma'am, thanks for not blowing my head off.
Would have been embarrassing, considering you're my brother-in-law.
Maria is family, actually.
Oh shit.
This next shot gave me the feeling that Ellie and Maria are threatened by the uniting of the brothers because it's the first time that they actually have other real family members in their life during the apocalypse. So far, they have been the most important thing that they've had to focus on. How do their relationships change once they have something that's more important to both of them come into their lives?
What the fuck you doing here? I came here to save you.
Joel and Ellie are eating like savages in the mess hall.
It's been a while since we've had a proper meal.
Actually, I don't think I've ever had a proper meal. This is fucking amazing.
We did a glimpse of a person who I think is going to be very important to us in the future. And by us, I mean Ellie.
What?
But I'll leave my theory until the end of this video, so don't worry, I won't spoil it for you. Tommy and Maria confirm that they are the proverbial boogeyman in the story of the couple from earlier in the episode. They assure that everyone who has died because of them was someone who was trying to attack their commune in some type of way. During the tour, we found out they've been settled in this commune for about 7 years now, so far out in the country that they rarely come into being infected. The infected actually run into the city where there's probably more food source. They're able to hide and keep away from people because they stay off the radios, which is why Tommy and Joel lost connection back in, I think, episode 1. Joel went to the guy looking to see if he had heard anything from Tommy on the radios, but he reported that he had stopped hearing from him. With all the infrastructure that this place has, it seems like this is like, if I had to compare it to anything like Alexandria from The Walking Dead times like 10, because they have everything that you could possibly need. To be honest, the only thing I didn't hear that they had was Wi-Fi, which is something I don't know how you reactivate that in the apocalypse.
It was Maria and her father. They set up this place with the idea of being self-sustained. We had crops and livestock. Remember how we thought no one could live like this anymore? We're doing it.
And when you look at here, we even got some sheep for Joel. We have a funny moment where Tommy realizes that he's a communist, which is hilarious because once I actually learned what communism actually is, I had the same type of face. I'm not going to say the word too much because I don't know how the YouTube algorithms are going to work with that, but yeah. I would just say that I think that this style of community gets a bad rep. We have democracy though. I'm a proud patriot. You heard that, YouTube? I'm a proud proud patriot couldn't even get that lie out. Moving on. Ellie's horse from the second game, Shimmer, for the first time. Joel and Tommy go off to have a talk while Maria and Ellie go off to change clothes. And the two have a talk that's similar to something that comes out of the game.
Why'd you leave Boston?
I've been on quite the adventure, little brother.
I reckon it's got something to do with that girl.
It's got everything to do with that little girl.
And the kid?
Oh, yeah. She's the daughter of some Firefly muckety-muck.
You ain't talking about some walk in the park here.
Jesus, boy!
It's a week's ride south. It is severely fucked up between here and there.
This is how you gonna repay me, huh?
Repay you?
For all those goddamn years I took care of us.
Took care. That's what you call it? I got nothing but nightmares from those years.
You survived because of me!
It wasn't worth it?
Those things I did, Tommy, those things that you judge me for. I did those things to keep us alive.
We did those things.
Your damn cause.
My cause is my family now.
I'm gonna be a father. Maria's a few months along now.
Have Maria get some of your born-again friends to do it.
They got families too.
She's immune.
Immune to what?
She's immune.
What?
She got infected, but she didn't get sick.
I've seen her breathe enough spores to take down a dozen men. And nothing. Now, I wouldn't have believed it neither. But I can show you.
I saw her get bit myself. That was months ago. Months. She's immune.
When Joel leaves the saloon, he sees a woman who looks exactly like his daughter. Would have been if she'd grown up in the apocalypse. And he sees that she also has a daughter. For him, this could be Sarah because 20 years have passed, so she potentially could have been the same age as this woman and had another daughter as well. All of this is too much for him and causes us to have his third panic attack of the episode. We get our first post-apocalyptic period lesson, which is something that is not really explored in any other apocalyptic shows. She gets a note from one of the kids whose clothes she's borrowing, and I think this is made on homemade paper. Ellie goes to meet with Maria, who winds up cutting her hair, during which time she wastes no time to ask a bunch of questions about Joel. And I thought that they were going to make Maria more softer in the series, but this is a scene where I'm like, okay, no, she's still a bitch like she was in the game. Although I don't fault her for anything because you have to be that in order to survive in this apocalypse. The reason why I'm being so harsh on her is because she reveals Sarah's death to Ellie, which is something that he wanted to keep to himself. And she gives us the line of the season.
Careful who you put your faith in. The only people who can betray us are the ones we trust.
And I'll explain why this line is so important and why we will come to see how this comes to fruition in the season finale at the end of this video.
Grab your super fucking eggplant coat.
Where are we going?
The movies.
Since our community is so safe, they're actually able to have large gatherings and events like movie nights.
Kids will be watching movies tonight.
During the movie night, Ellie goes to eavesdrop on Tommy and Joel having a part 2 to their heart-to-heart from earlier in the day. During which, just like in the game, Joel asks Tommy to take Ellie to the Fireflies location. The biggest difference here being that in the game, Joel wants to basically have Tommy just take her off for his hands. In the show, Joel is coming more from a spot of weakness. Or a better word, I think, is vulnerability. He feels that he's getting old and he sees that he has failed her and himself in a couple situations in the season so far. Just wants someone that he feels is actually capable to do the job, to finish the job, this being his brother. Every television show has their Emmy moments, as I like to call them, where they have the monologues that are like, we probably can squeeze an Emmy nomination out of this one. And I believe this is Pedro Pascal's Emmy moment. Gave us all of Joel's fears and why he really he wants Ellie to make it to the Fireflies, but doesn't feel as he's fit enough to do it anymore. I mean, Joel has lost a lot, and really what I believe is stopping him from being able to make it is not dealing with any of the things that he's lost. I mean, he's lost his daughter, he's lost Tess, and they just kept moving on, and then he lost Henry and Sam, and then every event they just had to keep moving forward. This is the first time again that we see in the season that he talks or reflects about anything that's happened in the past episodes. In the game, when Ellie overhears Joel and Tommy talking, she actually takes off and runs away after Tommy agrees to take her to the Fireflies. You have to go find her in a nearby town and go fight a bunch of raiders, but again, since it's a show and they don't have to do all that, they just have her go to a house and you just go have a conversation with her. Now, going back to those Emmy moments, I'd say this is probably the best dialogue between Joel and Ellie, and it's pretty much the exact same thing as in the game as in the show.
Is this really all they had to worry about?
Is this really all they had to worry about? Boys, movies, deciding which shirt goes with which skirt. It's bizarre.
Get up.
Boys, movies, deciding which shirt goes with which skirt. It's bizarre.
You want from me?
Admit that you wanted to get rid of me the whole time.
I made this decision for your own good. You'll be way better off with Tommy. He knows the area better than I do.
Do you give a shit about me or not?
Of course I do.
Then what are you so afraid of?
Tommy knows this area
Oh,
better
fuck
than...
that.
Well, I'm sorry. I trust him better than I trust myself.
Stop with the bullshit. What are you so afraid of? I'm not her, you know. I'm not her, you know.
What?
Maria told me about Sarah.
Ellie?
Maria told me about Sarah and...
No.
You are treading on some mighty thin ice here.
I'm sorry about your daughter, Joel, but I have lost people too.
You have no idea what loss is.
I'm sorry about your daughter, Joel. But I have lost people too.
You have no idea what loss is.
Everybody I have cared for has either died or left me. Everybody fucking except for you! So don't tell me that I'd be safe with somebody else, because the truth is, I would just be more scared.
Everyone I have cared for has either died or left me. Everyone fucking except for you. So don't tell me that I would be safer with someone else, because the truth is I would just be more scared.
You're right. You're not my daughter.
You're right. You're not my daughter.
And I sure as hell ain't your dad. Now come dawn, we're going our separate ways.
And I sure as hell ain't your dad. And we are going our separate ways.
Get it together. We're not alone.
Again, this has to be my favorite interaction between them so far. Although even in the show, I'm not able to realize why Joel gives her that harsh line of, "You're right, you're not my daughter," after she gives that like heartfelt of, "I'd just be more scared without you." Like, it's just a very deep departure from the character that it just doesn't make sense for me. In the game, Joel decides that he wants to take Ellie to the lab after the Raiders attack, but in the show, he just waits till the next morning after having a dream about Sarah.
Ellie, get off your horse. Give it on back to Tommy. I'm gonna hang on to this fella, if that's all right with you. Go on, don't make me repeat myself.
What are you doing?
Your wife kind of scares me. I don't want her coming after me.
Sorry for stealing your horse.
Look, come back to town. Let's discuss it at least.
You know me, my mind's all made up. University, Eastern Colorado. How do I find this lab?
It's in the science building. Looks like a giant mirror. You can't miss it.
You take care of that wife of yours.
There's a place for you here. You know?
You good?
Place for you here. Both of you. Counting on it. You deserve a choice. I still think you'd be better off with Tommy.
Let's go.
Okay.
The brothers say their adioses as Joel and Ellie take off.
Can I borrow that?
Yeah.
Because Maria took mine, you know.
I already said yes, Joe.
And with this, we have finally reached a turning point in Ellie and Joel's relationship. I believe he's actually enjoying spending time with her as he's teaching her how to hunt rather than treating her as a task. They have a little moment that's reminiscent of Django when Jamie Foxx and Christopher Waltz were learning how to shoot a rifle. He tells her stories about the old world and his old jobs.
People wanted to own everything. And some people didn't want anyone to own anything at all.
Unfortunately, not all of it was true.
Everybody loved contractors.
Aw, look at Ellie feeling in love.
Let me see if I get this straight. If you mess up your fourth down, then you give the ball to the other team?
So if you mess up your fourth down and you give the ball to the other team?
Right. It's called a turnover.
Right, it's called turnover.
And if you clear the 10 yards, then you're back at first down?
First down, that's right.
But if you make it to 10 yards, then you're back to first down?
Yep.
Man, it's confusing.
And you're back to first down?
Yep.
They pull up to University of Eastern Colorado, just like in the game, only to find that the Fireflies are nowhere to be found.
Team mascot. It's kind of sheep.
Oh, see? One step closer to your dream.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ellie would have been a comedian in the real world.
What'd you want to be?
Well, when I was a kid, I used to want to be a singer.
Shut up.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a singer.
Shut up.
I'm serious.
Sing something.
No.
Why is that funny?
Come on, I won't laugh.
I don't think so.
Joel.
Come on now, I'm not gonna laugh.
You're already laughing.
Okay, Joe.
Huh? Are those monkeys?
Yeah, a whole mess of them.
Those monkeys?
Well, first time seeing a monkey?
First time seeing a monkey. Should we?
First time seeing a monkey?
First time seeing a monkey.
No guards. No nothing.
Yeah, I'd expect to see someone by now. Let's get inside.
No guards.
I don't get it.
Looks like they all just packed up and left in a hurry.
There's a packing list. Something you make before moving.
Maybe not all of them.
Stay close.
They just left. Maybe not all of them.
At least it ain't clickers.
Yeah.
Well, at least it ain't clickers.
Yeah, no fireflies either.
Well, maybe in all that research, they turned into fucking monkeys.
Maybe in all that research they turned into fucking monkeys.
One thing that was downplayed in the show that was kind of upplayed in the game is that the monkeys were actually dangerous. A scientist that was studying the cordyceps through the monkeys actually was supposed to put them down, but decided not to, and then got bit by one of the monkeys and unfortunately contracted the virus from it. We find another recording explaining that he dies and that all the Fireflies have fled to another facility in Salt Lake City, which I assume Joel will be making his trek to in the next coming episodes.
That's 4 pallets of lab equipment all packed up and ready to go. Now, big question is, what do we do with all you guys? They say the tainted batch needs to be put down. You know what I say? I say screw that. Who made a bigger sacrifice than you, right? Anyone deserves to run free out there. Hey, easy! Ah! Shit. Oh no. You did me. Oh my god. You're looking for the Fireflies. They've all left.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm dead. Or I will be soon. Got me some time to reflect. Been years that felt like we were... fucking thing was a giant waste of time. I'm not gonna do this anymore.
Come on.
Looking for the others. They've all returned to St. Mary's Hospital in Salt Lake City. You'll find them there, still trying to save the world.
On both the show and in the game, raiders come and attack them while they're in the lab. The only difference being that in the game, this is the first time that we actually see Joel become vulnerable. Honestly, I thought that he died. I was kind of confused about what was going to happen next in the game. Although in the show, he attacks him in sort of trying to be more of an alpha male type because he's been seemingly being more of a sigma male in the last few episodes. And in the show, he's stabbed with a baseball bat, and in the game, he falls on the pike. Man, I wanted to press square so bad when Joel was fighting him. In both instances, Joel passes out while they're on a horse, and Ellie goes to comfort him as she thinks he's dying. Well, to be honest, she was comforting me too, because I thought he was dying as well.
I think we're safe. Joel?
I think we're safe. Joel? Joel? Shit. Joel! Here. Joel, open your eyes. Open your eyes. Joel, you gotta get up. Ah! Get up, get up, get up! You gotta tell me what to do. I can't fucking do this without you. Come on. You gotta get up. I don't know where the fuck I'm going. What the fuck I'm gonna do. Joel.
And the show leaves us on a cliffhanger thinking that Joel has died. But we know that's not true. I mean, The Last of Us would never kill off his main character, right? Well, that does it for this week's episode because everything else will be going into the super spoiler section. And before you sneak out like a heathen trying to avoid the ties and authoring section of the church, please hit that like, subscribe, and alerts button so you can get all of our videos coming forth. Now, picking up where we left off, this obviously is not the end of our buddy Joel, as this is exactly what happened in the game. In the game, we skip to wintertime where Ellie starts hunting those wascally rabbits. And we know that's when she's approached by the preacher character, who I think we're going to meet next week, but probably the week after that. As this week seems to be focusing on the backstory of the DLC pack, and her and Riley got bitten in the mall. Now back to the character that I was talking about back at the commune. I believe that girl is actually Dina, who turns out to be Ellie's girlfriend in the second game. I was looking to see if I might see Jesse as well, but I don't think that we've seen him. Last but not least, the line that Maria utters that I said is the best line of the series is foreshadowing the fight between Joel and the Fireflies. You know that Joel and Ellie both believe that Ellie will survive the experience of the vaccine being created, but we'll soon find out that Ellie will have to be sacrificed in order for this magical vaccine to be created. So in other words, they are trusting the Fireflies that when they find them after this cross-country journey, that everything will be okay and they'll be able to go home. But unfortunately, they don't know that the Fireflies plan to kill Ellie. And with them having Marlene be more of a mother-esque character for her here, she's literally a person that she loves and she's going to hurt her in the worst way. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any points or anything that you want to discuss for next week or this week or last week, please just drop them in the comments. Can't be said enough, but please hit that like and subscribe button and alerts for our next week's video. And in the meantime, go mess with some of our other content. Until next time, YouTube. Until next time.